Hello, everyone. Good morning once again. Thank you for joining us here and welcome to today's session, Strategic Digital Marketing Essential by Adil Ghani. We really appreciate your gesture and giving us your valuable attention on a Saturday morning. I'm Girish Hiremat,
Pleasure.
and I head the business operations at Jinserve Bangalore. For those who do not know Jinserve, I would like to give you a quick peek into who we are. We are one of the leading technology business incubators in India, located in the heart of Bangalore city. Like any startup, we too have come a long way, nurturing and growing tech startups for over 10 years now. Over the years, we have been playing the role of catalysts to a great success by providing startups and entrepreneurs the much needed seed fund, mentoring support, access to investors, and market connects. So, in simple words, we are like a startup coaching and mentoring institute. So now you know where to come if you want to really accelerate the growth of your startup. So now let me introduce our today's speaker, Adil Ghani. Adil Ghani is an accomplished sales and marketing professional with a rich journey over 30 years in marketing and sales. He has worked and served in international markets, beginning his career as a marketing trainee, growing to be a vice president at a corporate. He has seen it all, done it all. Some of the great companies like Oracle University, SQL International, Aptech, the Times of India, and Indian Express had his contributions. Presently, he is the founder, director of We Do eConsult Private Limited, digital marketing solution provider. He also runs a travel portal called Rainbow Hospitality. Adil is a postgraduate in marketing and sales management and is a certified business mentor and has been mentoring founders and startups in India. Adil is one of the most gentle and very warm person that I have ever met. He has this amazing way of making people connect with him. So I'm sure today you will see that. So before we begin the session, I would like to say a few words why this webinar. Today in India, the startup sector is in complete disarray due to the disruptions caused by the pandemic. With 9 out of 10 startups registering a decline in revenue, and over one third have already halted their operations temporarily or permanently. So the worst hit segments are early and mid-stage businesses. Times are challenging, and every business is compelled to innovate in all its areas. So it's important for businesses to create operating models that would not only sustain during these COVID times, but also excel in future, utilizing this opportunity. So I'm sure today's webinar will provide you those insights and strategic directions that startups and entrepreneurs can adopt. Today's session will be for an hour. At the end of the session, we'll do a Q&A for about 15 minutes. During the session, we'll stay muted. So in case if you wish to share any thoughts or questions, please feel free to comment in your chat window. We'll be able to, we are happy to facilitate it. So hope you will get all the answers that you are looking for in today's session. So without further ado, the screen is all yours, Adil.
All right. Thank you so much, Girish, and thanks for that wonderful introduction too.
Thank you.
On a Saturday morning, I mean, listening to those words makes my day, rather the weekend. Very good morning to all of you. I think Girish has also set the tone for this particular session very well, and we all know the situation, and we all know how the startups are actually struggling, and bootstrapped I mean, they have always been, but in this current scenario where not much of money that is being parted by the clients, and that makes it much more difficult. But within this scenario, I mean, how to optimize, yeah, is what we all need to look at. While 45 minutes is too short a period to actually understand the complete digital marketing and also strategies and things like that. But the efforts would be to still ensure that, I mean, I give you a quick rundown on, the holistic view of what goes into digital marketing. What are the critical components, those tips that helps you, growth hack. And once having understood that, I'll also tell you for small budgets, medium budgets, and the high budget startups, what kind of mix of these components that you can try it out as a strategy. All right. So the objective of this particular session for us as founders would be, I'm sure a few of you must be directly involved in creating those channels for reaching out to the customers, converting them, and a lot of us actually are getting it done through either the in-house team or we get it done through the external consultant. All right. So the objective of this session would be essentially to understand all these aspects and get you ready to drive the in-house team or the external, vendor in such a way that they are in the right track. Okay. Today, I mean, just to narrate a short story, I mean, when I started my business, about first business about 15, 16 years ago, that time there was the terminology called digital marketing was not there. It was only SEO consultants and things like that. And I had started promoting home away from home concept, right? And directly out of senior position from a multinational company where we were all used to just any technical glitch, any problem, we just pick up the phone and call the IT guys. They take care of everything. But when you enter into the world of self-employment or the entrepreneur world, you have to be the peon and you have to be the boss of yourself. And fortunately, unfortunately, this business was again a web-based driven business, right? So creating the website and then promoting it was absolutely a new thing. And there were SEO consultants, I mean, who would actually come to you and say that we will get you on #1 page and things like that. So for about 8 to 9 years, I struggled to understand, I mean, how this works. We spent time, money on the consultants, different types of consultants, without generating the results, desired results, as we say it, while we achieved some milestones in the business. Till I actually decided that let me understand this digital marketing myself, okay, and got into the certification course from one of India's top institutes. I mean, in fact, in 2017, there were not many professional courses on digital marketing also. They were just getting introduced. We did that and understood that, I mean, it's not a rocket science. All right. And then having been on the other side of the table and then having understood what digital marketing, having certified through Google, as a certified digital marketer, we said, let us go and, also address the same concerns of most of the entrepreneurs of my type who are suffering in this particular area. All right. So the objective would be to get you ready to not again suffer or a loss of time that I went through not understanding the intricacies of digital marketing. What are those critical aspects, okay, that you need to keep in mind while driving your teams? Okay. So I'll just share my screen to start with, and then we'll take it forward from there. Right. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yes, very clear.
Right. So what we are looking out here within this 45 minutes is the absolute essentials that you need to know on the digital marketing aspects to generate the desired results in the short span of time through your teams. Okay, so let's look at, I mean, what goes into it. I mean, first of all, though, I'm sure, I mean, everybody understands the importance and the advantages of digital marketing, but just for those who still don't have the clarity while they are doing it, I mean, they're forced to do this because of lack of funds. Most of them are using the digital platform to reach out to the customers, but it's important to understand those three very clear-cut advantages, distinct advantages of digital marketing. Unlike the conventional marketing, where you spend a lot of money and still you can't figure out which spend of yours is getting you the returns. Okay, in digital marketing, you in a relatively small budget, you reach out to the global customers. You can reach out to the global customers. Just imagine the scenario where today, sitting here, if you are selling some services or products to a US-based client or a Canada-based client. In a conventional scenario, what would happen in a bootstrap situation? But today with digital marketing, I mean, you can actually do that. Okay, however small you are. The second important advantage is sharp targeting. Again, unlike conventional marketing, where there is a lot of wastage when you spend. I mean, when the ads, when you promote anything, it goes to not just your target audience, but a lot of other people. Okay, and so there is a lot of wastage that happens. But then digital marketing platforms, as you know, that most of these social media platform, professional network platforms, they know today more about you than you know yourself about yourself, right? So they have categorized the people, the target audience in such a way that you can actually choose the demographics, the geographies, the interests, the habits, so that whatever you spend by targeting, okay, you are able to showcase your ads only to the people that you want to see, right? So that is a very, very important advantage of digital marketing. The third is, of course, the accurate calculation of return on your investments, which is again very difficult in conventional marketing. But in digital marketing, the kind of algorithm, the kind of artificial intelligence already fed by the third-party networks, okay, you are able to calculate every paisa spend, what is the return that you're getting. That is another big advantage, especially for the startups, the bootstrapped condition. Okay, and the analytical tools that are available today. All right, you can actually after having spent the money, you can understand where the the audience is coming from, what type of audience it is. A whole lot of study that you can do through various analytical tools available, starting with the Google Analytics itself. So these are the most important advantages of digital marketing. Now, before we get into the strategies for startups, I think it is important that we understand the digital marketing components. Okay, and then you all can actually map based on your scenarios, current scenarios, and where you stand. So what I'll do is I'll talk about these components in brief, only the critical components, and how each one is interdependent. And how each one plays a role when you actually trying to promote organically or inorganically. All right, because most often what happens is that if we all work on social media, by doing some posts, we start believing that it is reaching everybody. Okay, we are digital marketeers. By doing some emailing, we believe that we are doing digital marketing. So let us see, what sequence works, what mix works, and what is the critical components of within these components that you need to note down, so that you're able to qualify your vendors well, you're able to qualify the people who are working on your digital marketing projects to generate sales or build the brands, ask them the right questions so that they are driven in the right direction. Okay. So as you all know, I mean, uh, digital marketing starts with your website. Now, whether you call it a website, landing page, microsite, okay, whatever you name it. But the first point of contact for your customers are these components. I'll explain to you the differentiation between these website and a landing page. Okay, but that being the first point of contact, it's important to the love at first sight kind of a concept where they come in and they should like it and they should stay there for long. They should engage with you. That is the concept that you do. So building the website, what goes into it? All right, trying to get high domain authority for your website. I'll try to not use, or even if I use the jargons, I'll try and explain to you. High domain authority is of the website. It defines actually what is your ranking, how much of the visibility that you're getting, how much of the engagements that you're getting. All right, which is very important. So the high domain authority, how do you, what component determine that? The age of the URL, age of the domain, that is www so and so. So whenever you're registered, so that is not in your hands, right? That is not in your control. Leave that. But ranking. So age of the domain, ranking, backlinks, okay, and also traffic. These are the 4 components that determine the domain authority of your website, right? So barring the age of the website, the rest of them are in your control, right? So if you have to rank, there are certain activities that you need to perform, which is in your control. I'll talk about that later. If you have to generate traffic, there are certain activities that you need to perform that is in your control. Okay, and if you have to generate backlinks, okay, that is in your control. Okay, some activities need to be performed. You need to do that. So you get the domain authority. Apart from that, the UI UX of the website, very important. Okay, which you will take care while designing, or your developer will take care of it. Now, the secured website, installing the SSL. Now, all this, why we are doing it? Because all the search engines have actually defined some guidelines, okay, where they start recognizing or respecting you. So only if you perform these things on your website, then they start recognizing and ranking you. Till then, it becomes like a e-flyer. If you have not performed all these things, you have just dumped some content, you have some images and things like that, you leave it there, nobody visits, nobody comes on your website till the time you actually refer them that please go to www and then check my website. But that is not our objective. Our objective is automatically your target audience should be able to visit your website, go through what you're looking for, engage with you, get you traction from there, right? So therefore, first, domain authority, improve that by those improving those 4 components. Secure your website. Then another important thing is do the on-page SEO. In simple language, the guidelines created by these search engines are in technical term called as on-page SEO. So there are about 30-35 steps that you would take. So right now, of course, we will not have time to go through all those things, but we conduct separate training modules, to drill down on this and make you actually understand what those components are and how it can be taken care of. So that includes, just to name a few, is whether all the images have alt tags or not, whether each page has 250 to 350 words of content or not. In each page, the keywords, if you've done the research on the keywords that apply to your services or the product, whether they are inserted in the required density or not. Okay, once you do that, so your website, UI, UX, on-page SEO components, if you have done it well or if your team has done it well, it generates quality score of the website. So all of you just think about, do you remember the quality score of your website? Have you done any audit to check out. Today, multiple audit tools are available on the website, free. Just put your URL and it throws up the quality score of the website, right? Now that quality score, okay, even if you remember, if it is 85 plus out of 100, that means that search engines are actually respecting you, recognizing your website, and ranking you, increasing your visibility. All right. So now this is very, very important. So go and check the quality score of your website. And if it is anything below 80, 85, make sure that whichever team you're driving through, they do a proper on-page SEO and get the quality score up. Primary thing. Now that it doesn't end there. Whether it's a organic traffic that you're gunning for through various other organic methods, which we'll come to, even when you do the inorganic, that is creating paid campaigns, the quality score of the website becomes very important. I don't know how many of you have considered this, but make a note. Especially all of us been introduced to Google AdWords from a long time, right? So we all try and do that. We create ads there. Now, today we are very fortunate that we are living in an era where Google has changed its algorithm to suit the talent and expertise rather than suit the pockets of the people or the business houses. Earlier, what used to happen is after you have done the keyword research, Google would ask you to bid on keyword, and the high bidder is the one who is showcased on top of the search. Simple. And Google used to mint money. Today, if they are extremely cash rich and one of the top, they are because of that era. But what happened was people were searching, and whoever has bid high for the keyword, their websites were showcased on top. They were clicking on it and returning back dissatisfied because website is, the content what they're looking for not available, or it takes a long time. Okay, so getting the quality score high also means that the visitor who's coming to your website is finding what they are looking for in the short point of time. Very important. So Google realized that they're losing customers with that algorithm, right? So what they did, they made it a level playing game. After that, they changed the, before they lost out, they changed the algorithms. And within that, what they did, they created a concept called CTR, write it down, click-through rate. Now, whenever you create an ad, if there is a bidder on the keyword that bids higher and you bid lower, there is a possibility that your website will be showcased or your ad will be showcased on top of the one who has bid higher than you. How is that possible? That is possible through this click-through rate concept. And now, what is this click-through rate concept? I mean, just simple terms. It is impressions divided by clicks, but that is again a technical term. What it says is, if your click-through rate percentage is high, and how do you get that high? CTR is a combination. If you have to improve that, is a combination of the quality score of the website, the relevancy of the ad that you create. Okay, so what does it mean? That means the content which is there in your website. Let's say you're selling shoes, and the ad talks about chappals. Okay, it's not relevant. Similarly, there are many other aspects to creating an ad. So relevancy of the ad, quality score, and the bid amount. The combination of these three, okay, gets you a higher CTR. So if the quality score is low, ad is fantastic, you still don't get the. So what is the objective of creating a higher CTR? Is to spend less and get more traction from the target audience, right? So whether it's an in-house team or the external vendor, please ask them, what is the CTR when you're running the paid ads? All right, what is the CTR? Okay, how do you improvise? Even at the qualifying stage, even before giving them the DM project, you ask them, do you know what CTR is? Do you know how to improve the CTR? Because finally, in Google AdWords, the higher the CTR, the lower the cost of conversion, lower the cost per lead. Okay, so this, remember, make a note of it. Right, so that happens through on-page SEO and good UI UX of the website. Now, having done most of them on the same platter, let's say everybody has done on-page SEO in the same competitive world, in the same competitive landscape, same competitors, same products. How does one still rank higher? So what the search engines have said is that now, everything being equal on this platform, I will love or respect those websites who are available on many other digital platforms. Right? So your presence on the digital world, the more it is, the more I recognize you and respect you and rank you higher. And that concept is called off-page SEO and social media management. So that is how what we do. So in off-page SEO, what do? We go and submit our contents with regard to the company, products, services, ideas related to this, complementing in various platforms, in the form of article, in the form of press releases, in the form of case studies, in the form of testimonials, in the form of I mean, there are a lot of about 15, 16 forms of contents that you create and place them. Site submission you do. Okay, so there are about 14, 15 activities that you need to perform as a part of off-page SEO. All right. So to make your presence felt more and more. Now, this again, in technical terms, I don't know it will make sense to you or not, but now what I'm telling you will make sense to you. The idea is, on one side, you are making the MyBabs happy. MyBabs is who? All these are your Googles, FBs, Yahoos, Binges, and LinkedIn, blah, 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 by making your presence more and more felt. Okay. On the other side, and more important, this particular exercise creates confidence among your target audience, builds trust among your target audience. Okay, because especially in Indian context, what happens is that when they search with a keyword, if your CTR is good and your ad is showcased on top, although it's not an established brand, but it's a lucrative offer. They click on that, the ad directs them to the website or the landing page, right? They see that this is not an established brand. I don't know, and there are so many such service providers or the manufacturers, who are available, fly-by-night operators. They take money and then don't provide you with the rights, or don't provide you anything at all. So there is a good amount of skepticism. So what happens? We all have gone through that. What we do? We take that name, we come back to Google, we put that in the Google search and ask for reviews. And when we do that, it throws up, right? So if at all with that name, when you see on the front page, it's filled with that brand, okay, all the links, that means that it's an established brand. They are present. They are not the fly-by-night operators. Okay, so therefore, I can go and click on the call to action button, take any decision of purchase or leaving information or whatever it is. So this is and then it also helps in top of the mind recall. It helps in brand building. Okay, it helps in trust, confidence building exercise among the target audience. So that's a very important. Now, apart from this, it builds the permanency of your ranking. You may, through inorganic, without doing all these things, through inorganic paid ad campaigns, you can generate leads, but momentarily. Okay, but if you do a proper off-page SEO, good on-page SEO, social media postings, putting right contents and things like that, you are able to get a permanency of ranking. So keep mapping, as I keep talking, where do you stand in this particular, and which are the areas of improvement that you need to seek from the in-house team or the external vendor. Go and talk to them about that. Social media posting. Now, these are again organic activities where you don't have to spend money on it. All right, the right contents. Create a FB community page. We all have our own accounts, okay? But For your business, create a separate page on FB, create a LinkedIn account, create Insta, create Pinterest and whatever, and start putting which you do. I'm sure you do. But what is important is, do you engage the customer with those posts? Do you do any quizzes? Do you do any polls? Okay, so these are the straight away direct way of engaging and getting traction and top of the mind recall of your brand. Start doing that. Okay, coming to email, SMS marketing. All right, email marketing even today is the best way of getting traction from the customer, because it directly interacts with the target audience, provided you do it in the right manner. What does that mean? That means most often what we do in the excitement of generating leads or sales, whether into B2B scenario or a B2C scenario, we go and sell in the first email itself, which is not the way to do it. You have to create value for your each customer or prospective customer. Create value for them. Make them start believing in you. Make them start trusting you. That you are there to help them and not just extract money from them. So the mailing campaign, if it is of 4, 5 to 7 emailers, so define them. Define those contents of the mail. First could be an introduction of the brand. Second could be, so basically it all comes under what do you call it, acquisition, activation of the customer, and then monetization, right? So think about, there are various, you can share case studies, you can share testimonials, so different emails to be made. Subject matter of the email, so that it does not get into the spam mail, because most of the people, all of us, right, today, the minute we see so many mails coming in and nothing very personal, we directly delete it. So try and avoid the situation by creating good subject line. Don't grab this free discount for you. Now these are very common terminologies which gets into and finally the person receiving it declares you as spam, and then no communication of yours will reach there. Instead of that, it was nice seeing you in various forums. Obviously we all attend some forum or the other. It immediately generates. So I'm just giving you some pointers. Think about those uncommon subject lines that will give you, and you'll be surprised. The surveys actually prove that, don't try it often, but emails without subject, there is 8% higher chance of the person opening such mails than the ones with subject line. But you can try that only once or twice. Don't try that often. Okay. So, but keep trying something new. Okay, so that it remains and you provide value to the customer. Customer understand that. So there are many aspects, subject line, to how you start to get the interest of the customer, get the attention of the customer, create that desire to further ask for some more information, and provide the call to action button. It could be anything leading to any information that you want from the customer, right? So create this mail. So email is a very effective way of marketing. These are all organic. You're not spending much of money unless you hire a consultant. It's the consultant fees who's doing it obviously on your behalf. That is what you're spending. But now comes the paid media marketing. Very important. Now, I think I gave you one value tip about CTR when it comes to Google AdWords. So in organic will get you traction, but fortunately or unfortunately, we have a target to achieve, because till we don't make money, we are self-employed people. Only when we start generating profits, we become entrepreneurs, right? And to do that, actually, you have a target of revenues, okay, that you define by such and such time. I need to generate these many orders, culminating into this revenue, culminating into this profitability. Organic will get you traction. It will start some amount of inquiries, leads start trickling in, and with way SEOs have evolved and the way artificial intelligence being superimposed on these, it's becoming more and more effective. And in future, I mean, there'll be hardly any gap left between the organic and inorganic activity. But today, if you have to achieve time-bound results along with the organic activities, you have to perform the inorganic activity, and which is nothing but paid media campaigns, right? And if paid media campaigns, I think a number of them I've noticed. I mean, in the past 2 years, when I have spent about 300 hours of business mentoring with the founders, I've realized that they all are doing ad campaigns in some way or the other. Okay, saving money, doing it themselves. Very, very generic way, which is making them spend more money, more time, but not generating results. Because they were not aware of the concept of what CTR does for Google AdWords. They were not aware of, in FB, what is A/B testing. Please write it down. These terminologies, you need not learn how to do it. If you want, we have modules to take you through each of these components thoroughly, make you learn and do it yourself effective way. But just make a note of these terminologies. A/B testing in FB. Okay, if you do it effectively, you are more effective. And if you know in FB how to set custom audience, how to do correct targeting, how to define the persona of your client, because all are my customers is like no one is your customer. Every product and services have to have specific target audience. And if you define the persona of that target audience well, then targeting becomes extremely easy. But anyway, targeting everybody does. But does your consultant or in-house team know how to set the custom audience? It makes a lot of difference to your campaign. Ask them. Do they know when to introduce lookalike audience in the campaign? Check with them. That does a lot of good to the campaign. Okay, so just write these things down, check with them if they are doing this or not, right? When are they introducing the remarketing? Both FB and Google provides that remarketing concept beautifully, because a lot of people come, they don't take action or decision, they go get back, right? So primary objective of ours by doing the proper organic digital marketing activities is to ensure that less bounce back happens and more people convert. But in a scenario where you don't have money to do everything, all the components of digital marketing, doesn't matter. You still can do inorganic, but do in such a way that remarketing costs are not very high. Otherwise, the more number of people bounce back, to lure them back will be difficult. So paid media marketing, just remember this. LinkedIn, I'm not so much talking about here because we are talking about startups. LinkedIn campaigns are very expensive. But for B2B with high value products and services, sure shot, need to do campaigns on LinkedIn. It'll get you directly, because you can choose the audience by organization, by designation, who you want to showcase those ads to, right? So anyway, so FB and Google AdWords, just remember that these are the few jargons that you need to understand, that they make your efforts effective, and check with the in-house or the external team. Referral marketing, influencer marketing. Now, especially in a bootstrap scenario, okay, where you're not able to spend so much on the paid media ads and things like that, you can the referral marketing can be very effective, okay, which can be done through FB. These days there are a lot of tools available that facilitate you to do it well. It's nothing but rewarding the people, I mean, who refer your product or services, and if the conversion happens, they get some freebies or goodies from you. Okay, so do it effectively. That will get you some results. influencer marketing. While this is a very expensive activity, if you don't have the relationship, some kind of relationship with the influencer. Otherwise, build relationship and get them to endorse your products or services on various, digital platforms. Then see all their followers will also be, your products and services strengths, USPs are showcased to them. So that generates a good amount of. But otherwise, if you don't know and you're trying to get an influencer, okay, it can be a very expensive proposition. Don't even think about it right now. And paid media, I also forgot one thing. Apart from these pay-per-click campaigns, as we call it, there is something called as media buying. But that is the second step. Second step, when you are actually done with your early stage of your startup, you're in a growth stage, you can consider paid media campaign, because it's a little more expensive, but it gives you a lot of reach, because there is something called as Google registered network. So a lot of websites who are a part of this network with Google, they have provided space to Google, and what it does is, and then various other news websites, and you can actually choose the media that you want your ads to be showcased by buying the package of the media, and all your products are showcased there. And one person visiting a particular products or services, wherever he goes after that, you all must have noticed, it haunts them till the time they take decision. Okay, so PPC and media buying can be a good combination, but after a particular level that you achieved in your startup as an entrepreneur. Okay, so guys, ORM I will talk less, because unless you reach a stage where you are selling your products and services majorly everywhere, and then you're getting the reviews, and in the reviews there are few positives and there are few negatives. So how do we counter and get them to more positive, the star rating and things like that? So there are few steps that one needs to perform to get you back the reputation that you were having, despite the fact that you've had some negative reviews. What actions to be taken? So that is at a later stage. But primarily what you need to understand is these are the components under the umbrella of digital marketing, okay, that will get you the desired results if performed well. Okay. Here I have not mentioned the personal brand building, but I will touch upon that also right away, because we are talking about founders and co-founders of startups. The most passionate people who have actually come into this business because they are passionate about what they are providing to the society. They are the best people who can actually talk, be present, create their podcast, shoot their videos, conduct webinars. These are not much of money that you have to spend. But if you start doing that, automatically you start generating traction, and automatically there will be leads. Okay, a simple example, what am I doing right now? I'm talking to you, somebody else has positioned me. I mean, if there are people who are in need, and if they find value in my talk, okay, because I am passionate about digital marketing, and I know how it works, a lot of you will actually come back to me for something or the other. So you understand what I'm trying to tell you? So build personal branding yourself. Okay, you will not spend much time, but as a strategy, do that. Okay, so all these things. YouTube marketing, I forgot to mention. We touched upon FB and Google AdWords. YouTube marketing is today very, very effective marketing, and you'll be surprised that the cost per view in video marketing is very, very low compared to others. Why is it so? Because this platform, they encourage you to put videos, because what you see is what you get is the concept. So therefore, they have kept, and in a smaller budget, you can actually get more viewership from there, more traction from there. So, and today, earlier, creating a video was a very expensive proposition, but today that is not so. the fantastic cell phone, smartphones that are there with the cameras. If you can little bit practice, you yourself can shoot, okay, and put it on the YouTube and market it. Yesterday, in fact, there was a video floating around which said that now the online education in schools, okay, has exposed children to the exciting this thing of the internet and things like that. So 7-8-year-old children, I was so happy to see they click their video, okay, either making something or talking about something, and they are posting it on YouTube. Now, in such a so just get out of that mindset that video is difficult. Just click some video, okay. Make sure that everything is spoken in that as your USPs and put it on the YouTube. The more presence, first of all, organically, and if you want to market something, YouTube marketing is a very effective way of marketing. All right, guys. So this is a holistic view that I wanted to give it to you. We don't have time to go through the each and every. Otherwise, we can drill down on each aspects and go back. But we will move forward, and straight away I will. I'll quickly go into the strategies of different stages of startup. Now, having understood these components of digital marketing, if you don't take care of the backbone that drives all these things, effectively, we again fail. So, like 4 P's of marketing, I have coined 6 C's of digital marketing. Right? So all those components rest on these 6 C's. And if we are not effective in performing these activities, which are the backbone of any digital marketing, we fail again. So some of the value tips I gave you about each of those components and why each one is important and how interdependent they are. We need to perform these activities effectively. So what are these? Customer, community, content, creativity, contests, and conversion. Last but not the least, D, 6 C's and 1 D, data analysis. So customer. Now we may be performing all those activities of the digital marketing, but if we don't know who the customer is, what the persona of the customer is, we are not being effective. So right in the beginning, okay, or I would say that these are the 6 components that make you ready to do digital marketing. So unless you have these things ready, don't make your website, don't do on-page SEO, don't do off-page SEO, don't do social media. So understand and jot it down, the persona of the customers. Okay, that is important to understand. Community. Now, all these target audience of yours, or the customers, potential customers of yours, today are a part of some community, some forum, some groups or the other, and they are all in the digital platforms. Understand where which community is the customer a part of, because they can be reached through digital media to that community. Okay, whether it is the FB, whether LinkedIn, whether it is Pinterest, it is Insta, whether it is, so where do they go? Okay, not just that, but if you're a real estate person, you're trying to sell a high value flat. Okay, who are you? So if you look at it, I mean, a lot of them are golfers. So understand the persona, add that golfing community in a part of your community definition, and try and reach that community through your communication. Now, content. All of you have heard content is the queen, king, everything today. Right? The content that you create has to be addressing the needs of the target audience well, whether it is in the form of an ad or an article or a press release or a video or whatever it is. Okay, you're trying to solve the issue or the problem that the potential target audience is facing. So the content have to be ready with you. Content of different form has to be ready and effective content. Now, how will the contents be effective? One is, of course, the topic and the solution that you're providing in the content. The whole internet is full of content. We are all confused where to pick up, or who catches our attention. That is where the creativity comes in play, right? And we have done our surveys, okay, to do our product market fit statement. And when we did this exercise, we realized that most of the consumers, that is the consumers of digital marketing, the corporates or the big people who are taking the help of even the leaders or the large companies in digital marketing, one common negative that we found was digital marketeers are like software technical guys. There is creativity is missing. So try and focus when you are small, when you are a startup. If you inculcate creativity in everything that is done, I think that goes a long way. Out of the 10 ads, out of the 10 articles, if a creative content of yours is there on the digital platform, it grabs the attention of the target audience first. So try and build creativity. Don't allow the team, internal or external team vendor, to become pure technical, just submissions like a machine just doing digital marketing, but make them habituated to look at things from the client's perspective, from their customers perspective. Okay, and communicate. If this is the common way, what is the lateral way of communicating that? Okay, put that creativity. Yeah. So after having done that, we coined our position statement as we narrate your story creatively on the digital platform to get traction from your customer or target audience. So short communicates what business we are into, what is our differentiator creativity, and we get sales, traction from your target audience. So look for such kind of people and organizations in the space of digital marketing who can add a lot of value to you. Contests. Now I put it as contests, but basically it means engaging the customer. You've built the content, you've done the creativity, the right community, you've reached the right customers, a persona that you're targeting at. But how do we engage them? So create contests in the form of quizzes and polls, right? Which is no big deal. You can sit. It doesn't, nobody charges you for that. You can sit and your products and services better, what it does, to whom it does. Create quizzes on that. Okay, create polls on that with small freebies, and engage the customer. And that is how they will keep you in mind. The brand recall, top of the mind recall, brand building will happen. So this is again low effort, high impact. Create that. Conversions, of course, if all these things, we are doing it, if it is not getting converted properly, then again is the issue. So one needs to understand, like in FB, just an example, FB, there are 3 types of campaign that you create. Awareness campaign, what is that? Consideration campaign, and the conversion campaign. Where to actually apply these campaign? Okay, if it is e-commerce, they would directly apply the conversion campaign. If it is only the brand building awareness campaign. Okay, so see what best works to convert your customer into your a potential prospect into your customer. Okay, after having done all these things, unless you read and you're performing all these digital marketing activities, you have taken care, you've built a very strong backbone with these 6 C's. You have to constantly analyze all your efforts, how they are generating results. So there are a number of tools available, starting from Google Analytics to Ahref to SEMrush. I mean, many such tools available. Even competitor analysis that you can do and understand what your competitors are doing right that you're not doing, and that report tells you. You can actually follow the leader. You can actually adopt those good practices within your thing. So there is so much that one can do to optimize on your investment through digital marketing. So this becomes the backbone. All right. Let's move quickly on to what my suggestions are in terms of strategy for a low, medium, and high budget startup companies. How much time have we spent already? Oh, we are running late. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not allowing anyone to ask questions because I want to give you as much value, tips as possible. And at the end, I hope you're noting it down. If you want to ask me questions, 15 minutes. I mean, you can do that. And anything more than that, we can connect. I mean, offline and take it forward. Now let's look at this. The general mix for low budget startup. Now, after having spoken so much about all the components, backbone, everything,
Hi Adil, you have gone. You'll have to unmute. Adil, are you able to hear me?
Oh yes.
You went suddenly. I think you got muted. So if you can repeat.
Just a moment. Just a moment. Am I audible now?
Yes, very much.
Okay. So what I was telling you was, I mean, after having spoken, I think my headphones battery is down. I hope I'm as audible as I was with the headphones.
Yes, it's very clear.
It's clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what I was saying is, after having spoken about various components of digital marketing and also the backbone, the 6 C's of digital marketing, here for a absolutely bootstrapped, low budget startup, I'm suggesting something which you'll be surprised, and that is, he doesn't even need to have a website. While it is a very common phenomena and it doesn't take much to create a website, even if you don't want to just create a landing page or a 4-page website, 3-page website, also you can call it a landing page. Although the difference between a landing page and a website is that website is a junk box. Website, you will provide all information possible, okay, for a person to go and check out. But the objective of a landing page is very specific, and landing pages prompts the visitor to take action that you're desiring for. So there is hardly any diversions, hardly any distractions on the page. The information about that particular product or products or the service or services is mentioned that you're trying to monetize. Okay, so you can create, if you are in that situation, just create 1-page landing page, okay, web page, microsite, whatever you call it, and then do the organic activities like personal branding. I mentioned to you, FB community page you create, get most of your prospective customers, add them there, provide them value information out there, and build a long-term relationship and top of the mind recall. And you see that the traction starts building up. They start, interacting with you for their requirements and things like that. Do the referral marketing. Why not affiliate marketing? If you understand affiliate marketing, basically you are providing space on your landing page, or not landing page, but website, if you are creating, to sell others products which are complementing your services or products, and make money out of that. Email marketing, again, organic activity, but gives you tremendous amount of results, returns. Okay, so that is organic, but in some way or the other, some small way or the other, do the organic activity of creating PPC campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, as a combination. Okay, don't touch AdWords, that could be a little more expensive, and do a YouTube ad with your own video. So this combination can get you, but even when you're doing this, make sure that your 6 C's are in place. Now, in this activity, your cost of customer acquisition can be high. Why is it so? Because cost of customer acquisition will be low only when you have established yourself through various other organic activities under the umbrella of digital marketing, okay, for the customer, or for maximum amount of conversions happen. In this particular case, what happens is that you will have a lot of bounce backs, but you will still have conversions happening to get you the bread to continue in your business. But that will be at a high cost, which would mean that one lead, if you had performed all the activities of digital marketing as a package of strategies, you are parallelly doing organic and inorganic, then the cost per lead could be, let's say, 50 rupees, okay, in that scenario. But in this scenario where you are not, your cost of per lead could be 75 or 100 also. But doesn't matter, your profitability might reduce, but your immediate this thing is to establish yourself, get some customers, move on, and get the referrals, testimonials done. So I would suggest this particular thing for low budget startups. And for medium budget, you can have website, on-page SEO. Today, I mean, there are number of guides available to do it yourself also. In fact, we ourselves have on-page do-it-yourself guide, on-page SEO do-it-yourself guide, which is available for a small amount. I mean, you can take that, or engage in a medium budget scenario, you can engage a consultant who can do a good on-page SEO. You can also create landing page for focusing on, let's say you have 10 products and services. You want to monetize quickly on the stronger ones. So create landing page of only that. Okay. You can create a landing page in the website also, but I don't recommend, because website have a lot of distraction, and your objective is to convert any visitor coming through your ads or any other organic references. So create a landing page, sell it through that. Personal branding as phase 2, off-page SEO, social media management, referral marketing, affiliate marketing, email marketing, messenger marketing. These are low investment but high impact activities organically. Okay, and then as a third phase, add Google AdWords to your FB and Insta and YouTube. Okay, if you can afford LinkedIn, do that. But create the combination of these 3 phases, and I think you will start generating the desired result. Again, don't forget the 6 C's of digital marketing. Okay, make sure that you're ready with them. Effective 6 C's. Keep analyzing the data through various tools available. And this is what I was talking about. If somebody has to, has a good budget, sufficient budget, okay, to absolute time-bound results, time-bound conversions, okay, then they can straight away have all components of digital marketing happening, okay, on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Now here, what you can add is automated funneling. Okay, now this is a beautiful concept. If you can reach that stage, where you apply, let's say, a tool like Funalytics. All right, Funalytics will allow you to create a blueprint of right from the um, you know getting attention of the customer to converting them into business. What if, what if, what if not, what if, kind of a complete blueprint. Okay, and then creating a funnel. It allows you then use various tools to integrate that. Okay, and sit and enjoy. Just keep churning out the contents, creative contents. Okay, and the rest of the things are done by the automated funnel. Just to do the blueprint. Okay, it costs a lot, but if you are in a position with a high budget, okay, I think I would suggest that you get into this, whether it's a B2C or B2B. This will apply more to B2C, but B2B also, I mean, you can use this concept to create a blueprint, use various tools and integrate them, create an automated funnel, okay, which triggers everything automatically, and you just keep seeing sales happening. Okay, so this is what I suggest as a startup with sufficient budget. Now, having seen those, these are again important points that you need to consider. I would suggest that to create a roadmap, like we do, I mean, this is just a teaser session that we are having, but when we do the drill down sessions, we allow the people to go with a specific roadmap, digital marketing roadmap for their startup. All right. So try and get an expert, even if it costs a little, okay, for them to help you create a roadmap for you. As bootstrapped situation, I mean, like I also once bitten twice shy. I employed or I rather appointed freelancers to do our job. I would say that they are boon, but use them sparingly, because digital marketing is a field where it's very difficult for one person to be an expert in all. So you need minimum 5 to 6 skill sets. Okay, and therefore, even if it is a small agency, you can't afford hire mid-level also. Hire a smaller agency that has experts in 4 or 5 of these skills, which is a coder, developer, social SEO expert, a social media expert, and email expert. The other one, paid media expert. Okay, so very difficult to find it in one person. So as far as possible, and so what I'm trying to say is engage an agency who can do all these things effectively for you, and it also helps you in continuity of business, which means if the freelancer you're working with, if something happens to the freelancer, that happened, I mean, when I was doing it, you don't know, I mean, what to do. I mean, all the know-how transfer, everything, dependency gone. Then again, I mean, you have to start the process. But in a smaller agency with these skill sets, if one person leaves, the other person is still in a position to do a part of that digital marketing. Okay, so for the sake of continuity of your business, and also make the digital marketing efforts effective, engage an agency smaller, and then use, let's say, if that agency does not, let's say, for example, content writing, articles, okay, content writing, if they don't have that skill set, then engage a content writer who can complement, who can actually provide that input. Okay, so they are boon, use them sparingly. Hire, like I mentioned to you, hire small or mid-size DM agency with minimum 5 skills. Define deliverables clearly. All right, so just directly link it to the revenues that you're trying to achieve, and ask for the deliverables. They have the reports, TM reports, which will give you all that data, and analyze that, and set them on the improvised track. Evaluate performance based on periodical reports, and be open to changes in third-party dynamics, because all said and done, these are the agencies. They are not FBs or LinkedIn's or Insta. The dynamics, when they change in the third-party platform, I think we also everything changes. So therefore, be flexible to that extent. All right. So this is where I end. I mean, now you can ask questions, whoever is available. I see very few are available. Yeah, Girish, up to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think there were a few questions
Okay.
from, let's see.
Hi, Adil.
Hey, hi, Nidhi.
Yes.
I have sincerely attended and greatly benefited out of this webinar.
Oh, you did? Thank you so much.
Point. Quite unfortunate these days in webinars, many people drop out, but it's
Right.
really amazing and to the point.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank
Right.
you.
Maybe
So,
ask you a question.
yes, hi Girish. So
Hi.
I just wanted to understand, Adil, what is the best way to set up a YouTube account in my kind of business? It's
Right.
actually become very popular, but are there any good tricks behind setting it up, or it's just like starting a YouTube channel?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Is there a?
Is there, a right or a wrong way of setting up a YouTube channel, or it's just the content which matters here?
No. There is even setting up a channel, makes a lot of difference. How you do that, okay? So whenever you are planning to do that, I mean, just connect up with me. I will take you through the drill down. Okay, content, of course, becomes ultimate.
Content is, after all, everything. As you also mentioned, the 6 E's are very important. But other than that, there are technical strategies. While setting up each account, the kind of network that is made, the way you can lead. So I've been trying to understand, but yes, today I've got an official understanding how to do it. Yes.
Right. But I think there's much more that can be done. So offline we'll connect up and I'll take you through that drill down. Okay, not an issue.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Great. Any other questions from anyone else?
So we have, I think, just.
There's one question. Please quantify low, medium, high budgets. How much to spend and to expect? I think how to evaluate ROI.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So there is no definite way of defining low, sufficient, and high budgets. It all depends on which stage are you at and what fundings that you have, and so you at least know if you have to perform all the activities, organic and inorganic, how much it will cost. It doesn't take much time for you to talk to 3-4 good digital marketing agencies. And now that you know, I mean, how to qualify them or what briefing to be given to them, get the quotation, you will know whether that budget and have that roadmap for minimum 3 to 6 months time, especially in these times where you can't have a long-term plan, very volatile situation. So at least for those 3 to 6 months time, whether you can afford the amount or not. Okay, so that defines whether you are on a how much budget you to generate. That is one. Secondly, ROI in digital marketing is definitely possible. What you need to do is to primarily do your own homework in terms of what is the revenue target that you are trying to achieve. Break it down into the product pricing, services pricing, all right, and share that with the digital marketer. So what they do is they try and create a funnel where if you're trying to achieve 1 lakh of revenue, by the end of the quarter or a month, then how do you achieve that 1 lakh in broken down into what all various services and products, at what pricing? Okay, then they work out for each of those services and products, what is the target audience and which are the platforms or components that they need to apply. Okay, and then look at the conversion ratios. If it's a B2B scenario, what is the conversion ratio? Let's say if somebody gets you 100 qualified leads, okay, what is it, what percentage out of that your salespeople can actually convert? So define a conversion ratio based on which the digital marketer works backwards and then goes right up to cost per mile, that is 1,000 impressions, cost per 1,000 impressions, and drills down as to how many impressions are required, how many clicks are required, how many conversions, and then leads, qualified leads. So it can be worked out in a B2B scenario straight away, and in a e-commerce scenario where you're selling everything through the website portal. Again, cost per conversion, initial pilot project will tell you, okay, which components are working fine and which organic components are supporting this inorganic activity, and therefore what budgets to be kept for what returns. It can be done, but as I mentioned to you, these will all be approximations, all right? Because agency is an agency. We're dealing with third-party platforms. So if any change in their algorithms or any dynamics, okay, can actually affect the planning of the digital marketer. But approximations can be done, definitely, and measured.
Great. So any other question? Last question. Oh, thank you. I think for that feedback. They loved your answer, Adil.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll kind of conclude now. So thank you very much, Adil, for a very highly insightful session. You gave a very great overview of the critical digital marketing components for building and leveraging digital strategies for each business. I think whether you are in an early stage or a growth stage, I think these are all very important tools and the kind of knowledge that you have given in a very short span of time. The importance of the 6 C's and the D, very well explained. In fact, I was relating to our business also. So anyway, we'll do a detailed chat on that. So I feel that, as business owner or a founder, we can either freeze or fail, fumble and survive, or fight and grow in these kind of pandemic times. So it's our initiative to kind of seize an opportunity and also become resourceful for ourselves with these kind of knowledge sessions and everything. So for all the viewers, this is one important announcement. Adil has agreed to hold a deep dive workshop very soon. And we know his workshops are very popular, and in fact, in the last 1 year where we have conducted quite few workshops with him, they've been a big hit. So if you would like to join these will be paid workshops. So if you would like to join, we would like to hear about your interest, and we'll very soon we'll put that together and come back to you. So having said this, we at Ginserve can help you with all the resources to strategize and course correct. So please feel free to reach to us at connect.ginserve.in. So another announcement is we are working on some very interesting and unique programs. One such program is for pivoting. So some of the startup entrepreneurs or founders there, it will help you to kind of create a turnaround in your business. So please stay in touch, and we'll keep you posted on the launch of that program also soon. So once again, we at Ginserve, thank you very much for having made this session very worthwhile with your participation and spending your valuable Saturday time with us. Thank you once again. So, bye for now till we meet in the next session.
Thank you, Girish, for providing this opportunity also. And
thank you, Adil. Thank you, Girish.
Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you all participants. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.